A very beautiful evening to you, my beautiful listener. I know you're already seated for today's program towards a better health. Like I promised you in our last edition, I told you that I'm going to bring in a nutritionist that will talk very well on this particular issue of nutrition. And today we have no other person than Dr. Justina Nkechi Okoli, a nutritionist and a registered dietitian, a nurse educator, and public health nurse, and lecturer at the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics, Faculty of Health Sciences and Technology, College of Medicine, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Nnewi campus. She is also the chairperson, Nutrition Society of Nigeria, Anambra State Chapter. Doc, you're welcome.
Today I've been invited to talk about better health using healthy eating choices. Before we go into that, I would like to appreciate our Vice Chancellor, Professor Charles Esimone, for creating the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics at UNIZIK. In fact, I lack words to appreciate him and all his working team for this effort. With that, we now have a nutrition department. I want to also appreciate Mrs. Ify Obi, the anchor of this program at Unizik FM. Madam, thank you for this invitation. As a way of introduction, better health is when somebody has improved his or her well-being and is not sick, and the person is happy. In other words, the person's mood is light, positive. One of the ways of making a better health is by making healthy eating choices. What then is a healthy eating choice? A healthy eating choice when somebody has made effort to provide enough food that will give him or her essential nutrients that will protect him from illnesses and also make him to live healthy and do his or her work very well. So what are the components of healthy eating choices? Under this we have eating a variety of food items. Eating a variety of food items is important because no single food is enough to give us all the nutrients. By the way, nutrients are the chemical substances that are found in food that help us to grow, that help us to replace worn-out tissues, that give us energy, that maintain our health, that also produce certain substances in our body, like blood, like fluids, like hormones, like enzymes. So eating variety of foods will help us to gather different nutrients from these food items. Then we eat whole grains. Gone are the days when we meal our grains like corn, like millet, all those things, including our beans. We are no longer removing the chaff. Those chaff we used to remove are the roughages. So we cook it whole and we eat it whole in order to benefit from the nutrients contained in these grains and also the roughages. We get energy from eating tubers, roots, legumes, cereals, vegetables, and less from animal foods. That is healthy eating choices. This gives us comprehensive food nutrients and the other benefits from the food we are eating. So we are not throwing away anything as long as it is healthy and not toxic. Then we embark on low snacking with pastries, all those things that are made from flour, that is refined flour. We reduce the rate at which we consume them, and we consume them as whole food. There must be liberal consumption of fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are very, very healthy. We encourage our people to eat them on daily basis sef. We try to avoid too much alcohol or reduce alcohol to barest minimum. We also reduce salt intake, and you know salt is contained in billion cubes. I don't want to mention anyone in particular so that they cannot take me to court. Billion cubes are those cubes we add to improve the taste of our food. However, they are all made of salt. Many are also made of amino acids, which is protein, but the quantity of salt is much. So we reduce the consumption and replace them with our local seasonings like dawa, like ogiri Igbo, like ukpeye, and we use them to improve the flavor of our foods. Then we also reduce our intake of sugars that are contained in some carbonated drinks. Carbonated drinks only give us energy, and it is not good because we have said we should eat variety of foods together at all meals. Then we limit our intake of fatty foods, all these fried foods, all these foods that contain a lot of fats, including meat that are so fatty. We reduce the intake, consumption of these things. Then we embark on iron and folic acid intake. Foods that contain sources of iron and folic acid. And for our adolescent girls, pregnant women, they are supposed to take iron and folic acid supplementation according to the prescription by the doctors, because studies have shown that they are good. And during adolescence, during pregnancy, extra demand is made on the body, so that where we are not getting enough, we supplement, and it must be prescribed by a medical doctor. Then we encourage exercise. Exercise is very, very important in order to maintain our weight. It also improves digestion and utilization of nutrients. We encourage intake of fruits, vegetables, and fruits. These are very, very important.
Yeah, Doc, thanks a lot for your explanations. But what are the essential vitamins and minerals the body needs? And which sources can they be derived from?
Vitamins and minerals are also regarded as micronutrients. They are needed in the body, but in a smaller quantity than macronutrients, because their deficiency in the body causes what we call hidden hunger. So their consumption are encouraged, and vitamins are classified into water-soluble and fat-soluble vitamins. Under water-soluble vitamins, we have vitamin B and C. And under vitamin B group, we have vitamin B1, vitamin B2, vitamin B3, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, biotin, folate. These are vitamin B groups, and they are very, very important in the body because it helps in body processes, chemical processes, and it also assists in the utilization of the macronutrients, that is carbohydrate, protein, and fats, in order to help the body function very well. And their sources include from fruits we eat, from vegetables we eat, from supplements, and other foods we are consuming. The same thing applies for fat-soluble vitamins. These fat-soluble vitamins are carried in the body by fats. So they need fats to be transported from one place to the body in their function. Unlike vitamin B and C, which we have mentioned as water soluble, that needs water. So fat soluble vitamins include vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, and they are chiefly contained in yellow fruits like pawpaw, like oranges, like pears and vegetables. So it is important we consume both vitamins in order to benefit from their contents. Then we move over to minerals. Minerals are also an example of micronutrients. So vitamins and minerals belong to one group. They are regarded as micronutrients. Then under these minerals, we still have macro minerals and micro minerals. Both of them are very, very important in the body. Under the macronutrients, we have calcium, we have magnesium, we have phosphorus, we have fluorine. And these minerals are found in foods like milk, bone, that is bone, animal sources. We have them in bone. That's why at times people are encouraged to eat um, mm, biscuit bone, fish, fish with their bones, fruits and vegetables. And we also have micro minerals, and these include iron, iodine, manganese, selenium. These micro minerals, in as much as they are micro, they are needed in the body in very minute amounts. They are very, very important because where they are lacking, they cause what we call hidden hunger. Example includes anemia, shortness of blood, caused by deficiency of iron. Then we have goiter condition, that's swelling on the neck. It is caused by lack of iodine or inability of the body to utilize the available iodine. And you see, it is always physical. You cannot hide it. And some can even be hidden, and they cause a lot of problems. So it is important we consume foods that give us these nutrients so that we do not lack them in the body to avoid their problems. Then we talk about foods for immune function.
Let's go for a short musical break, and when we come back, we will continue with what you need to do to be healthy. Like I said before, we have today Dr. Justina Nkechi Okoli, a nutritionist and registered dietitian, a nurse, educator, who is here talking about nutrition. Don't change that dial.
energy. You should eat them in a meal 3 times a day. Carrots, broccoli, spinach, even peas. Look at all the colors, it's what you need. Healthy eating makes you wanna dance. Clap your hands and jump around and say, yes, I can. Healthy eating makes you really strong. Your brain and body will really get along. Fruits, they're really yum and taste so sweet. They have lots of vitamins, it's really great. Apples, bananas, and strawberries. Eating them will help keep the doctor away. Healthy eating makes you wanna dance. Clap your hands and jump around and say, yes, I can. Healthy eating makes you really strong. Your brain and body will really get along. Come on, hot dogs, hamburgers, and pizza. Oh yeah, cookies, cakes, and ice cream. They sound so sweet. Chips, candy, soda. We want it all. Just don't eat it every day, only as a treat. Yeah, healthy eating makes you wanna dance. Clap your hands and jump around and say, yes, I can. Healthy eating makes you really strong. Your brain and body will really get along. Healthy eating makes you wanna dance. Clap your hands and jump around and say, yes, I can. Healthy eating makes you really strong. Your brain and body will really get along.
You are welcome back. If you are just joining us, you're listening to Unizik 94.1 FM, and the program is Towards a Better Health. And before we go on break, I told you that we have Dr. Justin Nkechi Okoli, a nutritionist and a registered dietitian, a nurse educator, and public health nurse, a lecturer at the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics, Faculty of Health Sciences and Technology, College of Medicine, Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Nnewi campus. She has been here talking about what you need to do to be healthy. So as we are back, Doc, we'd like to know what kind of food one can incorporate into a diet to support immune system.
It is important we consume foods that give us these nutrients so that we do not lack them in the body to avoid their problems. Then we talk about foods for immune function. Foods for immune function means that somebody must eat adequate foods, adequate diet, healthy diet. And what does we mean? What does adequate diet mean here? It means you eat food that will give us enough energy, enough protein, enough fats contained in our local food sources, combined food sources, because we earlier said that we should eat foods that are well combined, varied, in order to get all the needed nutrients. So for proper immune function, we need foods from carbohydrate sources, which should give us 50% of energy we need. We need protein. Carbohydrate sources includes yam, rice, corn, roots, cassava. Those foods we get from cassava, including gari, including fufu, including arebo, all those foods we should get it from carbohydrate sources. They give energy. But the energy should not be more than 50%. And how do we determine it? We determine it by eating a lump sum of this food, combining it very well with foods that will also give us protein. These protein sources can come from meat, it can come from legumes. Legumes are things like beans, and we have different species of beans. Then we have fats from our oil, our red oil, groundnut oil, all sorts of oils. They make up fats and oils. But consumption of these fats should be limited to 20%, while protein is 30%. And we combine our food in such a way that when you look at it, in order to know that their food is well combined, you have minimum of 4 colors. We call it dietary diversity. When you combine your food in this order, you now at least are sure that you are eating to get enough of nutrients. Then another important way of making sure that you are eating for immune function and general healthy living is to make sure that you are picking your foods from what we call 5 food groups. Under 5 food groups, we have cereals, that's foods like corn, maize, millets, and the rest of them. We have roots, foods like potatoes, foods like yam, roots and tubers, cassava. They make up a group of food. Then we have meat and meat products. They also make up a group. We have milk and milk products. We also have vegetables and fruit groups. We now have fats and oil. Then we have flavoring agents. And we have earlier said that we should use our local flavoring agents like ukpe, dawadawa, ogiri Igbo or ogiri akwụkwọ to replace these foreign ones we are avoiding. Why? We want people to be taking more of our traditional food groups because they are good. All these foods are very, very good, especially when they have been combined very well, because we have earlier said that no single food is enough to give us all the nutrients except milk. And milk is exclusive breastfeeding, exclusive breast milk given to children when they are 0 to 6 months. That is the only time you can say that a single food is enough for healthy living. And after 6 months, that milk will no longer be enough for that same baby because it is supposed to be combined with family foods. So that is why it is important to eat combination of foods in a particular diet. Then what are the immune boosting foods? The immune boosting foods we advocate are foods that are well combined with foods of plants origin, with animal foods, but devoid of fatty materials, vitamins and minerals. And all these are contained in our foods. So we eat them at the right time, in right quantity, for our age, for the type of work we are doing. And the food, of course, must be safe. That is devoid of microorganisms to avoid food contamination. Food as it may appear very nice, very important, it can also be source of diseases, and it can lead to death depending on severity. So that is about immune boosting foods. There is no particular food that is immune boosting food, but you need to take foods in combination. Combine your foods very well. And at the end of the day, if you are able to get a minimum 4 colors in a food served before you, you are trying in what we call dietary diversity, and you are sure to get enough nutrients from the food that will also boost your immunity. Then we move over to antioxidants. What do we understand by antioxidants? Antioxidants are non-nutritive food substances that are contained in plant foods, and they help in general body functioning. Antioxidants reduces the rate at which body cells are destroyed. And the examples of antioxidants are vitamin C, selenium, vitamin A. And these are contained in the foods we eat. They are contained as foods we normally eat. But in the past, we used to throw away the part of the food. But these foods are important. Even though they are not giving us nutrients per se to grow, to energy for maintenance, they are very, very important because they reduce the rate at which oxidation takes place. That is destruction of normal blood, normal body cells. So they are very, very important, and they are gotten from the foods we call roughages. Weight reducing diet is another thing we talk about. Weight reducing diet comprises of low calorie intake from the three energy giving foods, from carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Gone are the days when people think that it's only carbohydrate foods that give energy. Protein foods give energy, fat foods give energy. But what we are saying is that it is better to take your energy food sources from carbohydrates. It is also cheaper because if you check the cost of meat and cost of garri or akpu, you will all agree with me that carbohydrate akpu is cheaper than meat. And when you take them into the body work on this food in order they metabolize the foods in order to get energy, get um, substances for growth and repair. It takes the body higher energy to convert foods from protein to energy. So that is why it is important to take your energy uh, energy sources of food from carbohydrates, and it has to be individualized. Before we talk about reducing weight, we need to know the weight of that person. And how do we do this? We do it by what we call nutritional assessment, where the weight, the height of that individual are taken. Then we calculate what we call body mass index to know how heavy, how fatty the person is. And if the person is obese or has overweight, then we now tailor the person's food intake to what the person needs. However, generally, the person needs to increase his or her vegetable and fruit intake and avoid sugary fruits. You know, some fruits are sugary, so you don't take such sugary foods when you are watching your weight. Then we have to reduce fat intake, fat and oil intake. Fat and oil can be the way you put your fat and oil into your food, the way you eat other foods that have fat. So you have to reduce it, and you have to also reduce the way you eat in between meals, that is snacks. And if you must take snacks, let your snacks be healthy snacks, not snacks filled with a lot of carbohydrate sources and fatty sources. No, you should also regulate the way you eat. You must not eat everywhere, you must not eat at all times. It is very, very important. Then another important thing somebody that is reducing weight is supposed to do is to reduce the rate at which he or she takes alcohol. If the person takes alcohol, it must reduce gradually, and the person can also go off alcohol. Then salt intake is also important consideration. The person needs to also reduce the salt intake. Then you can also be drinking water in between your meals. As you eat, you drink water. That will also reduce the quantity of food that is consumed. But the person who is watching his or her weight should avoid fasting or starvation. I know some people like to fast, at least for spiritual healing. It is good, but you must get a personalized information on that before you starve or you fast. Then we move over to saturated fast. A lot of people have asked a lot of questions on saturated fast, unsaturated fast, and polyunsaturated fast. Yes, when we talk about saturated fast chemically are fasts that have single bond. That is, they are called single bond fatty acids, and they are not very good for health. So there must be a reduction in the consumption of this type of fats, and they are found principally in animal fats. So one has to reduce it. Then when we talk about unsaturated fats, we have fats that have one or more double bond, and the examples include fats that are seen in fruits. So it is important we consume more of unsaturated fatty acids, and they are common in our fruits like peanuts, groundnuts, like canola oil, avocado, pear, nuts of different types, including walnuts, other nuts, salmons, and hazelnuts. So they are regarded as healthy fats or healthy fatty acids. Then under unsaturated fatty acids, we have monounsaturated and polyunsaturated. For monounsaturated, chemically they have carbon on their molecule. Then for polyunsaturated, they have more than one unsaturated carbon bond in their molecule. So for better health, it is advised that we consume polyunsaturated fatty. Hello listeners, good day once again. I believe that what we have said today added value to you. Thank you, and remain healthy through healthy food choices.
Thanks so much, Dr. Justin and Kichokoli, for this wonderful, wonderful exposition on nutrition. And you out there, my listener, I also want to thank you also for staying put to listen to us, and they believe you gain a lot that will help you improve on your health. And until next week, where we'll also talk more on this nutrition. I remain yours truly, Ify Obi. Enjoy the rest of the evening.